You boys watched the game again, and then we went back. We went ahead and watched it another time for science, guys. We did it for science. And what we found to be true was that Georgia is better than every other football team in the United States of America. And you and I and most of the people listening to the show today are still fans of that football team. So that's pretty good news for us. And we'll talk about it today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time app, download today. Promo code Locked On College. $20 off your tickets. More on them in a moment. But Daniel, we did in fact for science, for the sake of society, for the sake, nay, of the fans that listen in. Locked On Bulldogs. By the way, glad you guys are here. Head over to the audio side of the pod. Download that audio as well. And if you're on the YouTube side, thanks, subscribe, download, do all that. And inverse that. If you're not on YouTube, head over to YouTube, and if you're on the audio
just do
side,
both things. You can double dip in the podcast.
It's fine.
The water's fine. It's nice.
$199. Stay and be a loyal third segment listener. You're part of the $199 if you stay for the loyal third segment listener. Actual anecdotes that we give you because we care about you. We love you.
Well,
and the banter is there.
We do. The banter is all going to be found right there. Let's
limit Tennessee
the banter here at the beginning.
Yeah, let's please keep it tight. Keep it tight. Tennessee fan, yes, we're homers. Yes, we're fans. Yes, we're going to talk a lot about how good Georgia is and how bad you are. That's what college football is, if you don't know. Like,
also, and I know you will, I only say this because I know you will, say we're wrong. Like,
and then say we're wrong, and then give me
why.
Factual evidence, not just because you feel it to be true.
Tennessee fan, if you're listening,
they are.
I'll just tell you, you're going to hate tomorrow's show. Like, you are going to hate it. Georgia fan, if you're listening, Georgia fan, tomorrow's shows might be one. It might be one to just bookmark.
We are full up in our feels after.
But today we're talking about Ole Miss. We're talking about the best team in America. We are talking about this offense, this defense.
Yep.
And Clint, I'm going to start here because I don't want to bury the lead. I don't want to hold it back until the end. I have an update on my SEC championship game thoughts. Okay, are we ready? I said on the podcast last week, and I took a lot of heat for it. I said if the SEC championship game were today, if it were this weekend, that I would, with a straight face, legitimately predict Alabama to beat Georgia.
I don't think beat was necessarily what you said, but I think run us out of the building.
I did not say that. No, those are not
my
words.
He said it.
I said that they would run all over us on the offensive side of the ball, but not that the final score would be a blowout. That's not at all what I implied. Not how I felt.
No.
Let me say this. I have changed my mind. I have changed my tune.
Okay.
After watching this week's college football action, at this moment, I think Georgia's going to beat Alabama, but it might not be for the reason that you think. My confidence might not come from the place that you would expect it to or that you would even want it to. So you probably, Clint, will still be mad at me for this take. I don't care.
I probably am.
I have no confidence in our defense to stop Alabama. I really don't. I really don't.
He can't help it. He really can't help it, folks.
I don't have any confidence in our defense to stop Alabama. I think what Alabama does we will not be able to schematically adjust to it like we have in the past in order to get stops. I think it will be much more similar to a Missouri type situation where if you recall, Clint, there wasn't that big of a schematic. Like, that was the anomaly so far in the year. Georgia's defense didn't figure it out in that game. Schrader was running all over us to the very end, right? Have you convinced yourself that that's not what happened yet? Because
I don't have to convince myself it's not, but continue. Digress.
It is exactly what happened.
It's not.
Georgia's defense, I think, is going to struggle against Alabama. I think they're going to struggle to get stops. And I think they're not going to be able to flip the switch and turn it on in the same way that they have. I'll tell you why I've changed my tune. And I've changed my tune about Alabama and about every other team in the country. Because I'm here on this podcast, ready to say in front of God and everybody that Georgia has the best offense in all of college football.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there is a program on God's green earth that can even begin to slow this team down once it gets cooking.
It can't.
The weapons, the players, the scheme, the coaching, and the distributor, the general, the captain, Carson Beck. Alabama's defense is going to get torched by Georgia's offense. And so, if I'm right about what Alabama's offense is going to have, the success that they're going to have against Georgia's defense, I now still feel confident because Georgia will go ahead and beat Alabama 51-42. They will go ahead and absolutely dominate them on that side of the ball if that's what they have to do to win the game, Clint.
Okay, first of all, I'm not going to touch your...
Well, I'll give you a chance to talk about the defense as we, upon further review, we'll look at Ole Miss and we'll talk about the defense.
Emotionally compromised. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, emotionally compromised from what? From watching this defense all year.
Okay. He's folk. This is just me and you now because this man is outside of his gourd. But you're right about this. I'm gonna start with what we agreed to. I'm gonna find some commonality. This offense is the best in the nation. You want to run? Sure. You want a power run? Sure. You want to 1 foot in the ground and go? Sure. Dejon Edwards can do that.
Explosive runs? Can we do that?
Explosive runs over 20, 25, 30? Sure. You want a screen game? You want to get legit route running to every single level? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about the tight end in the flat? Okay. How about the tight end over the middle? How about wide receiver? How about deep ball? How about 50-50? How about back shoulder? How about General Carson Beck going down the field? How about taking one of the top 10 pressure defenses in the entire nation and not having them sniff Carson Beck the entire game? Sure. There's nothing that your team does, fan out there who's not Georgia. There's not one thing that we don't do better than you. Like I'm not saying that hyperbolic. I'm not just exaggerating. I'm legitimately saying if you think you can line up and bash us in the teeth on the trenches, go ahead.
Please try.
Go ahead because we'll maul you. Okay. You want to speed rush to the outside. Okay. Go for that. You want to blitz Carson Beck? Sure. You want to stand back in two deep?
Drop 8?
Drop them. Okay. Whatever you do, your linebackers are the best in the nation. Your DBs are the best in the nation. Your defensive line's the best in the nation. Whatever you tout, whatever you call yourself, we're better at our thing than you are at the best thing you do. Everywhere on the offensive side of the ball. And it's not questionable.
Mike Bobo's got nothing but answers in that bag. Like every time he reaches into the bag, he pulls out answers. He's got nothing but answers for anything that any defense wants to try to throw at him. I get that not every defense in America is coached by Pete Golding. I understand that.
Whew. By the way, Bama fan, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Kevin Steele's not that great. But
he is an improvement.
He's an upgrade. He is an upgrade. Pete Golding held Alabama to 24 points. Just so we're totally clear.
So we understand what we're talking about right now.
And 52 is, Alabama fans, get out a pen and paper, more than double 24.
Did you carry the one and take?
And they played They played the same number of minutes, and both games were in the home stadium of the winning team. So it's a tough scene for Alabama's offense right now. It's a tough scene for anyone trying to match up anything against Georgia.
Yeah.
And it's a really tough scene for all the Mike Bobo haters out there. We've got so much more to cover. We got a lot more people to come after on this show. But first, want to let you know about these.
And these begin with Game Time. Game Time right now, what you need to do is download the app. Game Time app.
Get out
or
your phone.
gametime.co. It's very simple. Do it right now as I'm talking to you, as you hear me speaking to you. This is like those hypnotic tapes. Take out your phone.
Started to sound that way. I'm just
open.
You're gonna try to brainwash me into thinking that this defense is elite in a second.
I'll do anything I can, Daniel, but I won't have to do anything for Game Time because you know what? It speaks for itself. Daniel, I've used them. We've gone to games. Game Time app is the official app that we use. And right now, you promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. That's right, $20 off. Tickets, last minute, hard to get, concerts, games, whatever you need. Game Time is it. Head over there right now, promo code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off. They're the most trusted brand, easy, simple, straightforward, and they're not going to gouge you with fees. Head over there now, LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off. Game Time now.
All right, Clint. On further review of the Ole Miss game, we started with a little SEC championship, a little look ahead, a little how I'm feeling, but it's all based off of what happened this weekend. By the way, second half of that take not only what Georgia did over the weekend, and it has nothing to do with what Alabama did either.
No,
I'm gonna zag. What Missouri did over the weekend. Tennessee fan,
Missouri,
are you here yet?
No, they're here. They're keeping it down a little bit.
Tennessee fan, are you here yet?
Vol Missouri
Nugs,
showed,
you out there? Vol Nugs?
No, not a chance. They showed, Daniel, Missouri showed that they are a top record is not going to allow them to be this. Okay. So, but right now in a playoff format, there are some teams outside the top four that would struggle mightily against Missouri.
Oh, listen to me. Next year in the 12-team playoff, Missouri would make this playoff.
Yes.
Missouri's going to finish this year 10-2. They would make this playoff. And I'm telling you, you would not want to face them.
I don't care who you are. You're going to have your hands full.
It did a lot for me for my team.
Here we go.
To see that, Clint, because I think we all respected Missouri.
We did.
We all came away from that game thinking Missouri's a good football team. Missouri, well, whatever. We both picked Tennessee to cover, though, this weekend.
Sadly.
We both expected a bit of a letdown from Missouri. Missouri's a dang good football team, Clint.
Mentally tough, physically tough.
That's just a really good football team.
Well coached. Drinkovitz, you know what? I'm not going to call you Drink anymore. It's Drinkovitz.
Yet again, like Georgia's win over Missouri is a legitimate hang your hat win.
It is.
And that goes a long way. Ole Miss is going to finish 10-2. Missouri's going to finish 10-2. Unfortunately, Tennessee's going to finish 7-5, and so that's not great. But these are wins over quality teams, and Georgia took care of business handily, handily against Ole Miss.
Did work. It was incredible. We're all about it. Let me tell you, Daniel.
Where you want to start here?
I want to start with what I'm about to say is not going to shock you.
Okay.
It's not going to.
Well, it's not the overreaction show anymore.
It's not the overreaction show, but what I'm going to say sounds like it should be in the overreaction show. Okay. But I don't think I'm overreacting.
Okay.
I think I saw enough of an in-game improvement to call CJ Allen.
Oh, here we go. Say it. Say
the next in a line of great linebackers. He's the next in the great linebackers. Not good. Monty Rice, very good linebacker. I loved Monty Rice. He was great. He was good. He was
not great.
Not great. He was good.
Not great.
I'm not talking good. I'm talking elite.
You're talking the names. I'm
talking the names. You all know the names. I'm talking those names. Because what I saw upon further review, my eyes were glued on him more. Because here's the reason why. We're going to need him down the stretch. I don't know if Pop is going to be back in time for the SEC championship. I don't know.
Don't think he is.
I don't think he is either. But I said Brock Bowers would not play a snap of meaningful football.
I can't.
So I'm an idiot.
I'll never get over it, Clint. I'll never get over it.
No, but legitimately, I've never seen anything like that in all my years watching football. Not one thing close to it.
I'll never get over it. He's the best football player we've seen in a long, long time.
It's incredible. CJ Allen, I watched him again and again and again. And Daniel, here's what I found out. I found out that he has more speed than most other linebackers we have and most other linebackers in the SEC. I found out he cares a great deal about powerlifting in the weight room.
Oh,
because
no, he doesn't miss those days.
He don't miss leg day. He don't miss clean day. He don't miss deadlift day. This man attacks with absolute violence, and I love to see it. But I saw something else. So all of that, again, that's the natural ability. That's you're a highly touted recruit that comes to Georgia to play inside linebacker. You have to have those. He has them in droves. But then I saw in-game adjustments that made me believe he was learning on the fly in such a capacity that he began to grasp the game, as they say, began to slow down for him. And that is when your mental capacity, your mental processing translates to your physical ability quickly. That's when the game slows down for you. And that's what I saw happen to CJ in this game. And as I look at Alabama, if you're telling me that Alabama, you want to simplify your offense to be a run and gun, power run, mobile quarterback thing, okay, that plays into CJ's system more than
true.
Than
that's not a lie.
anything else.
That's true.
You're telling me you want Milroe to just tuck it and run?
If you run quarterback power and throw the ball deep, which I think is Alabama's best offense.
That is. You just described it.
That does play into CJ Allen's wheelhouse.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. So that's what I saw upon further review, Daniel.
I don't hate it. I like CJ Allen a tremendous amount. I'll say this. We talk a lot about being the president of certain fan clubs and, whatever. I think it's safe to say the listeners know you're a big Jalen Walker fan. You're big. You like Walker. 11 quite a bit. You enjoy watching him play the game of football. He's an inside linebacker, Clint. He's been out there for now almost 2 full seasons plus a spring.
Yeah.
Running at practice with the inside linebackers.
Correct.
All the drills, all the meetings, all the time.
Yeah.
What does it tell you about what Glenn Schumann sees in these 2 young freshmen that they are the next 2 guys up when Pop goes down? We're not turning to Jalen Walker.
No.
Hell, that's a 5-star, uber talented guy that we've seen on the field do incredible things. We're turning to CJ Allen and Raylan Wilson. Those are the guys that now we're looking to say, these are your linebackers of the future. You understand?
Yes.
Next year, these are your starters.
Oh, boy.
Those 2 guys are your starters next year. And I mean, Georgia fan, you don't need Kirk Herbstreit to tell you. You should feel pretty good about that.
Love every second of it. Xavier Sorey, try to find some edge rush ability.
He's going to be fine. He's going to do that. Listen, it does not to say, don't think that Georgia wants 2 inside linebackers. They don't ever want 2 inside linebackers. Kirby always wants 3.
Correct.
We still need a Channing Tindall.
Yeah.
And Xavier Sorey has got the look of a Channing Tindall all up and down him. And
he got that double A gap blitz coming, Daniel. We're We're going to be back after this for loyal third segment listeners. And this, Daniel, is in fact Jace Medical. Jace Medical right now. Look, we've been a lot of places. We travel quite a bit.
That's true.
Daniel is over in the Ohio Valley sometimes.
You never know. The Cuyahoga Valley National Park. You travel up there.
Wasn't
you
lying.
You didn't even know that was a thing.
Had no clue that's a thing. Daniel, I don't know the state of Texas. I don't care to know, but just get on the road and just get going. Yeah. And what you could do at Jace Medical. We spend a lot of time talking about health and safety and what you need to do. Jace Medical is the place for you. And right now, use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Get yours today at jacemedical.com. And we care about you. We care about your reproductive health. We care about performance, those sorts of things. And Jace Medical right now has the ability to help you with that ED medication from Jace Medical the way that you need it. So head over there right now, jacemedical.com. Use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Right now, jacemedical.com, promo code locked on, $20 off.
Clint, I will, by the way, welcome to the 199.
We love you.
You 199. You guys are the best. Clint teased a few weeks ago. We got some, as we get closer to the SEC championship game.
Here we go.
Bowl season. We got some things coming up for the 199. We're not going to talk about it except here on this segment. The
third segment listeners are the only people that get this.
Only people invited. But we got some things that we are working up. We're going to do a little bit of a giveaway for the people for the 199. And so, just stay tuned for that. And more details to come. Clint.
Yes.
Tennessee game coming up. You mentioned the ability of CJ Allen and how it plays into the games remaining on Georgia's schedule. I think that's absolutely true. I think we'll talk about it tomorrow when we look at Tennessee. I want to stay on the defensive side of the ball, and I want to bring a little positivity to my view on the defense. I want a little.
This is new.
It's not all doom and gloom. Listen, I've been very clear. The way that this coaching staff has made adjustments this season is the most unbelievable defensive coaching job I've ever witnessed in my entire life. So I'm very down and negative about this defense. I think I've been very down and negative about the overall level of play that we've seen from the players on this defense. But the way that these coaches have adjusted and shut people down.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Ole Miss could not fall forward on Saturday after the third series of the game. Glenn Schumann, they didn't wait till halftime to get back there and get on the grease board. Glenn Schumann just got in that huddle and he said, listen, this is it. This is what we're doing. Now we see what they're about. Now we see what they're coming out here in. And guys, it's just this. It's this, and boom, they're stopped. It's been unbelievable to watch. Now, I don't think you want to hang your hat on that. That's always been my point. That's always been my point with this defense. At some point, it's not going to work. Your in-game adjustments are not going to, you don't want to be the team that always starts by giving the opponents 2 touchdowns. And that's virtually what Georgia has made a living doing all season, is just spotting a team 2 touchdowns and then getting off and rolling. But kudos to the coaching staff because, we saw it in this game. We've seen it in other games, but the speed with which they made those adjustments in this game. I mean, we were texting back and forth, Clint. This defense looked like it was cooked at the beginning of this game. Flat out, it was going to be a 50-49 game, and we were going to have to try to squeak one out. But they didn't just get better. They flipped it and went from getting cooked to completely shutting down one of the best offenses in all of college football.
And here to me is the really impressive thing as you talk about flipping the switch. Now, they do like to pass and they have talented receivers, and Jackson Dart is a talented quarterback.
Very talented. Super tough.
But needs
to slide.
Tough. Please, bro. I don't want to see your head do that thing anymore. Okay, bro. Here's the deal. They did the thing that Georgia fans have been nervous about, and that is so unlike a Kirby-led team, which is they run the football quite a bit.
And they do with physical backs, big physical backs.
So as I watched again, I wanted to see, was it stunting? Was it run blitz? Was it fits? What was it that slowed down Ole Miss and Daniel for a lot of this? There were some schematic things that Glenn decided to do. That is true. Again, I still think the first 2 drives of the game, or beginning of the game, I should just say, it just happened that the first 2 drives is a good marker for us. They're feeling out. It's kind of like a heavyweight battle. They're getting to know the lay of the land, where you want to go in the ring, and then turn it on after that. But it was just simply a rotation of players. I think that changed throughout the game in a big way, but also just this determination to say, we know where they want to run and how they want to run, and you all bow up right now and get going. And they bowed up, Daniel. It wasn't all of a sudden we were blitzing safeties down in the box, although Bullard was filling the alley quite well. Tyke Smith was doing an admirable job. Malachi Starks was taking the back end, but it was simply the front 7 taking ownership and saying, you're not going anywhere. I know what you want to do. We're very clear on what you want to do. And we're saying enough to this. It was clarity from Glenn Shue and Kirby Smart. And there's execution of just simply saying, I'm better than you on the defensive side of the ball for Georgia defense.
I think where I want to give credit to this defense as it pertains to the run game, we've obviously talked about Kamari. There's plenty of ways to give credit to this defense. We talked about guys like Kamari Laster, and just he's an absolute stud. And I'm done talking about Dalen Everett. And like, I'm not even trying to, I don't even want to go there anymore. Like, Dalen Everett's bad. We know that. Hopefully Julian Humphreys can play more. I'm not sure why he hasn't been playing.
Let's not, again,
he's not better than Dalen Everett. Like,
okay, focus.
I want to talk about this run game. I want to talk about the defense matchup against the run game and give credit to the interior of that defensive line, because they really shut down the inside run of Ole Miss all night. Ole Miss could not get anywhere pushing the pile straight up the middle. All of their success on the run game, much like a lot of Missouri's success in the run game, came to the outside. It came off tackle or even further outside on a stretch play or on a zone run or whatever it is that they were running. And a lot of that, Clint, is on the linebackers. All year, Georgia has struggled to stop the outside run. And Georgia's never struggled to stop the outside run before. Do you know why? Because they've always had linebackers that were so fast and so instinctive and so able to diagnose a play and know where it was going early and take the right lane and run like a gazelle and hit like a freight train. Like, Georgia's always had those players that was just like, yeah, I wish you would try to run outside on us. That's the dumbest thing that you could ever even possibly try to do. But this year, teams have been doing it. And you mentioned CJ Allen, and he's growing and he's learning and he's getting there on the fly. But does this linebacking core really give you the confidence? Smile Mondon, like, has really had his ups and downs this year.
That's to say the least.
Do they really give you the confidence? They were able, I think, to get Ole Miss. And that's the thing about, I honestly think, and I'm going to wrap it up here because I could go on and on. I honestly think the best part of this Georgia defense is that they play on the other side of the ball from the Georgia offense. Because do you know what happens in games? The Georgia offense comes out and just absolutely waxes people. And when they do that, the other team's play caller starts to get the sweats. He starts to start feeling a lot of feelings on his insides because he's thinking to himself, this is going to be a 50-49 game, and we're going to have to score a boatload of points. And then all of a sudden, you get teams out of their game plan. I think that's what happened to Ole Miss.
I was just going to say,
them off rhythm.
You saw it. You saw it really good. Lane Kiffin went for broke coming out of the half because he knew we don't score on the one drive. We don't score first, we're cooked. Because you can't say, okay, hey, Georgia put up 7. Let's put together a nice drive.
Why don't you get 3 stops in a row, defense? Nope. You're not going to do that. Not against this offense. Like, that helps the defense a ton.
It does. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Come back tomorrow where Daniel and I'll be covering more Georgia Bulldogs. We'll see y'all then.
See ya.